All right, B-Town YouTube, what is up? It's Jimmy. I know it's been a while. I know it's been some time. And I meant to post a video yesterday because I wanted to get something up there for you guys, but haven't been able to. Yesterday, I got caught up with actually a birthday. So one of y'all had a birthday. I wanted to show y'all some love. So I decided to make that my priority versus posting this video. But now that it is the next day, I wanted to post this video today because I wanted to share something with you guys that I learned very recently, just last week, and I thought it was really interesting. I wanted to share it with you guys because I feel like I learned something through this experience, and I thought maybe you could learn something too. What I want to share with you guys today is actually something that I found on the internet really randomly, and it is called the Tensegrity Table, also known as like the floating table. So what it is, as you can see here, it's a table that floats, and it is completely supported and held up by string, right? By the tension in strings, which is really cool. I mean, that's a really interesting way to look at it. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna show you guys the video, or a little bit of the video, so we can kind of react to it, and then I'm gonna tell you exactly how this kind of impacted me. So check this out. I think you might find this interesting. I found this interesting, so we're gonna take a look at it. All right, here it is.
Okay, today I'm going to show you the amazing floating table. Okay, so I have here some regular thread. Now, thread and rope are really interesting and useful things. They can hold up really well under tension. A tiny little thread can hold up a significant amount of weight. So if instead I wanted to hold these scissors on top of the thread, let's try that. Nope.
Yeah.
So of course this thread can't hold any weight on top of it.
Ain't no support, ain't no way.
That's because the compressive force that it can take is basically zero. It immediately buckles under any compression. Whereas for tension, it can hold a significant amount of weight. But what if today we wanted to try an experiment where we actually put compressive loads on thread? So I'm going to be trying to make a table that's supported by just thread. Let's see.
Okay, so first of all, as you guys can see, the way physics works, it's not going to work trying to get support from a string, especially when you're trying to get compressive force. So that's what he's talking about. He's talking about compressive force, the ability to support something, the ability to support something like a pillar that uses compressive force, and he's using a string to do that. Doesn't work. So he's going to show you how he can manipulate things to get that same compressive force, but strictly out of something that's not designed to do that, which I thought is really
if I can do it. So first, let me just try to support these two triangles of cardboard using just thread as the legs.
Ain't gonna work.
And as you'd expect, it buckles immediately as soon as I put any pressure on it. So as soon as I let go of the top triangle, it collapses.
Yeah.
Well, maybe things aren't balanced just right. Let's try to put some center weights on it and try to balance it a little better.
Yeah, see, that's yeah, you can clearly see that he's trying different things to show you that it doesn't work this way, right? When you put that kind of pressure on something that isn't designed to do that, it's not going to work. All right, so let's fast forward to where he brings in the table. So I'm going to show you this right here. He brings in the table, so now he's going to
together with string, and they hang here just fine. But watch what happens when I set it down. It doesn't collapse. Somehow the strings are able to support it still.
This is interesting to me. I feel like
now,
this is
normally
extremely
when you let stuff
interesting.
go like that, it should just collapse. But watch what happens when I let it go.
Okay, so that's what you're seeing here. Now you're seeing something that is supported by the same thing, same flimsy string, so it's nothing different, but just the way that the table is designed, it now has structure to it. It can now support, and it is using only the string to deliver that support. Now, I'm actually going to play the whole video. If you want to see the whole video, I'll link it in the description of this video so you guys can go and watch it. But I really just wanted to reference this video or this structure because for me, it was super interesting as I was processing things in my own life. But first, I'm going to kind of break down how this works. Essentially, what we're doing is we're using the tensile strength, so we're using the tension in this middle string right here. So there's 4 strings in this structure. So there's a string right here that's for support. This is your support string. This middle string. That's gonna pretty much be the string that retains all the weight, right? Retains all the weight. So all the compressive force. Then on these 3 sides, so 1 side, 2 side, and 3 side, those are going to be for your stability. So those are going to stabilize that middle string, right? And for me, when I was looking at this, I thought this was just really interesting. But then last week, I ended up going to premarital counseling. And all my pastor kept talking about, shout out Drew for doing our counseling. You're dope, man. But all my pastor kept talking about was how much tension is going to you may experience in the world of marriage, and how marriage is so good, and all the values and all the benefits of marriage, but it doesn't come without tension, right? And I was looking at my own life, and I was like, man, if I know Drew is the one guy that'll tell you tension is good. Tension is a good thing, and I know that when you hear the word tension, especially in my life, I think about all the frustrating, all the irritating and aggravating things in my life that I just feel like I don't need, right? I'm just like, you know what? Get this out of my life. This is too much. I don't really want to deal with this. But that's what I think about when I hear the word tension, or when I deal with tension. I'm really one to just say, you know what? All right, we're not working out right now. You know, I'll see you later, kind of thing. Because I really hate drama. If anybody knows me, I'm the most anti-drama person. So if I feel like something is bringing me a lot of drama, I really just remove that thing from my sight. I just don't like to deal with it. But Drew's saying something different. He's saying, like, man, when you're in tension, he's like, you actually want to lean into the tension. It's not to disengage, but it's to lean into it. And I just thought, and when he told me that, I knew exactly what I was thinking of. I was thinking of this table, because the reality of it, and a lot of times we don't seem to get it, is the fact that the tension in our lives is actually the very thing that's giving us stability. And we don't tend to realize that. So if you're looking at this table would be completely unstable without all these different things in this table bringing it tension. Probably, but for me, this represents just like uncomfortability. I'm looking at these things and I'm like, yup, that's drama. Yup, that's more drama. And that's even more drama. This is like work drama, right? And this is like right here in the side, that's like family drama. Everybody's got that little family drama. And then, right here we can maybe say just, personal drama, or, drama with friends or whatever. You can name it, right? And all these things are tension, and everything is telling you, man, just disengage, right? This is just too much. It's too much pressure or whatever. Just disengage. And then the center here, right? So you got this spoke in the center, right? And this is what's holding the table. This is what's giving it all the support. For me, this is the tension I have with God, right? And everybody's got it. Everybody's got those things in their lives. So, I wish things were just different. God, why are things happening this way? And that's the tension that I feel like I experience with God. Well, really, the reality is you don't want to get away from this. You don't ever want to disengage from that tension, because your relationship with God is everything for you. That is your support, and that is my support, right? That is everything I need. But then there's the other thing, is that God actually puts into your life to actually strengthen you, to actually give you more stability. So I thought about, me going through some situations in my life with my family. If you guys know that, I've lost a lot of family members in the past, year and a half. It's including my dad. And I think that was a lot of tension for me. things with work. Obviously, you guys know COVID-19. Things have been crazy. We had some staff transitions. As you know, at B-Town, we had to get a new area director. That was a lot of tension for me, right? And then we're just going through personal stuff, right? You're going through you're in a relationship. So in relationships, those things are naturally have tension in them. And so for me, that was this right here, this third one. That was my relationship. And the reality was, I can't tell you how many times where I felt like God was just telling me to disengage. Or I was just like, man, I just need to disengage. But then God is telling me something the very opposite. He's telling me, yo, lean into the tension. That's what my pastor Drew's telling me, and that's what I felt like God was speaking into my heart. He's saying, yo, lean into the tension. So I was like, okay, maybe I need to be, instead of disengaging, more engaged, because these things in my life, this tension, me struggling with my dad, me struggling with work, me struggling in my relationship sometimes when I'm having hard days. These are the very things that God is using to stabilize me at times. And these are the very things that, even in the center, right? Me having tension with God. These are the very things that are actually holding me up. And now that it's holding me up, right? What you're going to see later in the video is that this guy actually uses this very thing to support other things, right? To support other objects, right? He was able to put other objects on top of that to really demonstrate that this thing actually has stability, it actually has strength. And that's what I want to show you guys today, because sometimes people are going to look to you and be like, hey, I need you to hold me up. I need you to support me. I need you to help me. And you're looking at your life, you're like, man, I got tension in all these places, but God may be telling you something different. Maybe God is telling you that that tension in your life is the very thing that's going to give you stability, and that's going to give you that very same stability that you can use to hold others up. Whether that means hold others up in prayer, whether that means take somebody out to lunch and listen to their problems, whether that means just sitting down with your friend and hearing how they're going through it, even though you're going through it sometimes. Sometimes that very tension is how you hold others up. And sometimes the tension that the person brings in your life is the very thing that's holding you up, right? That's giving you stability. So I wanted you guys to take a look at this, right? Take a look at this kind of concept. And I want you to think about the tension in your life. Where are the areas of tension in your life? The areas that you're struggling in your life, and how can we relook at that thing to maybe say, maybe God's trying to bring me stability, right? Look at the areas where you have tension with God, and maybe ask the question, maybe God is actually giving me support through this. Maybe God is supporting me. He's holding me up through this. So this is something interesting to think about. Thank you guys for listening. I know this was kind of a long video, a little bit longer than normal, but I just thought that this was a really interesting concept. Again, if you guys want to see the video, I'll link it in the description. I think it's a really, really interesting find. Again, thank you guys for listening. Thank you guys for watching. And I pray and hope that you guys have an amazing day, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.